Welcome back today. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my experience becoming a mom. So a little bit of a background. I was 39 when I had Ella, and I take it I was probably considered to be a more mature mom. I was obviously planning and preparing and reading a lot of stuff, but it was very different from the reality when it happened, when she came. So obviously today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my experiences and how I wish I knew things when I first had her. Just a quick disclaimer, obviously I'm not a medical doctor. If you've got any issues, any queries, any worries, then please go and see your doctor or a specialist. So before we dive into the actual tips, I just want to say a little bit, like a bit of an introduction, a bit of a summarization, and these points probably are as important than actually the hacks themselves. So first of all, please don't be hard on yourself, because it's very easy to kind of, when the baby comes, obviously we are not priority anymore, and we are just beating ourselves up every single day that we are not always there, that are we good enough, are we doing good enough, are we doing enough, are we doing our best? Please just step back and then just look and appreciate that you're doing everything, you're doing your best for yourself and for your baby. And also what I think is very important is always listen to your instinct. People can tell you different things, they can give you different advice, but in the inside, I think we all know what's the best for the baby. And if we think that there is something that's not right, people can tell us. People can oh, don't worry, everything's gonna be all right, it's normal, but you need to have it checked for yourself. So always listen to your instinct. If you think that something's wrong, then please have it checked out. And also, on the other hand, listen to other people's advice. Listen to people who've been there, because they will have loads of advice to give you. But the most important thing is that you actually tailor that piece of wisdom to yourself, because obviously whatever helped other people, it may not necessarily be the best for yourself, but always listen and appreciate that they are trying to help you. Because obviously I was given loads of advice and I realized that I should have taken some of it and I shouldn't have taken some of it as well. And I think it's all about tweaking it a little bit and then kind of get it right for yourself. And don't try to be a superwoman, because you already are. You carry the baby for 9 months, you gave birth, and then you're just perfect. It's just one of those things, I think, how nature is intended it, that we are just always trying to kind of push it a little bit more, questioning ourselves, but we are good enough. And I think it's a very, very important thing to remember, and which is a lot of times also overlooked, is the hydration part of it. I know I don't hydrate myself now, and I definitely wasn't hydrating when I first had Ella, because obviously we are not a priority. It's all about a baby, which is quite natural, but it's important to hydrate and feed our bodies and just make sure that you look after ourselves, because if we are not well, we are not physically well, we are not mentally well, then it's going to be a lot harder. And just remember that you do have to look after yourself in order to be able to look after others. I still have to remind myself, to be honest, because I don't tend to drink enough and eat healthily. But yeah, so this is a little bit of a pointer at the beginning. So I like to dive into the hacks that I put together. So it's a handful of them. So the first one is actually a funny story. It's about a changing table. Talking, you know, as I was mentioning the advice from other people, I never forget when I was nesting and my mother-in-law, I told my mother-in-law I really needed a changing table in Ella's room, and she said, no, you don't need one. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, well, you know, I brought her 4 kids and we never had a changing table, you're not gonna need it. And I said, right, I'm gonna get one anyway, you know, as you do. And so I got one from Facebook Marketplace, and it was massive. It took up a lot of space. And did I use it? I did probably about 5 times. And I mean, I use it more like a storage space. And I think if you've got like a dresser, or if you've got the space and you think you're gonna use it, go for it. But I just think it's one of those things that I wish I listened to her. And yeah, so instead of the changing table, I was changing Ella wherever and whenever. So I wasn't going to go back into her room just to use a changing table. But yeah, so that's my first pointer, that, you know, you don't necessarily need a changing table unless obviously you want one and you've got the space and you think you're really gonna use it. Otherwise, time comes and goes, and by the time you realize you don't actually need a changing table anymore because they are going to be potty trained. So changing table is my number 1. Second one is a little bit connected to changing table in a sense that you know, when I was changing Ella, I put a little box together, and we only live in a 2-bedroom flat, so I put a little box together and I put the stuff in, like this like the reusable nappies that we use, nappy cream, lotion, combs, cutter, and little bits and pieces that you'd think that you would use. So make a couple of boxes. To be honest, with the nail cutters and the clippers, you probably don't need it, but with the nappy and the cream and potion lotions, if you can, get a box in a room, and just like foldable, even cardboard box, doesn't have to be fancy, and just keep it in. We kept one in our living room and we kept one in Ella's room, so it kind of obviously saved a little bit of time, so you didn't have to like look for the box. Yeah, so I think that's a very good hack if you can sort it out, or if you can manage to make one for each room where you spend most of your time. I think it's a really good idea and a time saver. Third one would be changing of clothes. I mean, I was breastfeeding Ella for a while, and obviously she was, even without breastfeeding, she was like, babies, they split up all the time, right? So it's natural to have a change of clothes for a baby. I know I had a change of clothes for Ella, a couple of sets when she was a baby, and I also had the change of clothes for myself. Mostly it was really a top because of the splitting up business. But yeah, a couple of sets of change of clothes for the baby, 1 set for yourself, even if you just want to put like an extra top in, because when you're out and about, it's going to be just quite easy to like just change into the top, change into the clothes if you get you know, if they decide to be sick all over you, which did happen. So yes, and so that was number 3. Number 4 is a ready to go baby changing bag. I had a baby changing bag and I had a lot of stuff in there. I probably stuffed it, but it was always kind of ready to go, so I wasn't kind of going in and out, taking things out. So if you can afford to have a bag with like all the bits that you would take out, again, it saves you like having to like think about it, or have I got this, have I got that in the bag, and it's just literally ready to go. Just grab it and when you have to go, because it takes forever to leave the house with the baby, a toddler. I mean, now it's not too bad that she's 7, but yeah, yes, whatever makes life easier, just a little bit of help, and you don't have to worry that you're gonna have everything in your bag. So that's number 4. And number 5 is, which I didn't do when she was born, is batch cook. Batch cooking is, I think it's a major game changer for me. I already talked to you about it in my previous videos. But yes, when she was born, I wish that I batch cooked like crazy before she came. But even now, thinking back, I probably could have asked my husband to keep an eye on her while I'm like batch cooking, even though obviously I remember the first 3 months I didn't even know if I was sleeping or if I was awake. I was so tired. But yeah, it's something that, you know, if you got help, maybe you can ask them to look after the baby, or if you got somebody who could batch cook for you as well, if you're a family member, or yeah, so just kind of try to find a way, because it really does make life so much easier, and you don't have to worry about food for yourself. Again, nourish your body and hydrate yourself. So I do hope that you enjoy this video. I can't think of anything else to add to the baby period, but there will be another video coming up, and I'd like to cover the toddler years as well, and a little bit dip into the school years, because obviously every era is different. And I think, you know, when people say, oh, enjoy it while it lasts, when you're in it you think it's never gonna end. When they are babies you wish they were like walking around. When they are walking around, oh my goodness, they're gonna get into everything. So yes, just enjoy the time, and it will pass. Every time is just temporary. It is when you're in it. I know when I was in it I thought, gosh, this is just so long. I can't, you know, when am I going to ever sleep again? So please let me know in the comment how you coped when you first had your baby. Is there anything you'd like to share with the others? Is there something that you regret doing, or something that you regret not doing? Yes, if you enjoyed this video, if you got value out of it, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.